Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Swampy Comics. I'm Swampy, and we're going to be doing the weekly tier list where I'm going to be putting all the comics that I bought this week of September 17th, 2025, right here into the Guy Gardner tier list. And let's just get started right away. First up, we got Absolute Flash, number 7. This is written by Jeff Lemire with art by Travis Moore in this issue, colors by Adriana Lucas, and letters by Tom Napolitano. We pick up with Wally and Grodd wandering into a town where we find out quickly that the storm that's covering them is not one that's natural. But before making this discovery, Wally gets looks like he runs out of calories trying to steal some food because he doesn't have any money. He gets thrown in jail, and the rogues actually end up breaking Wally out, which was really cool. But Wally wants to track down Grodd, who he lost when he got arrested, and ends up finding him at the eye of the storm that we got going on in this town. And it turns out that, old Grodd has found the absolute version of Weather Wizard. And it's really cool to see Wally kind of waste no time figuring things out and kicking his ass right away. Not a long, drawn out fight at all. And at the end of this issue, we get the Rogues wanting to join up with Wally. And it looks like Wally's going to be running around with the Rogues, possibly doing some crimes. This is a really interesting take. I really like where this story's going, and we get a little more information about what's going on with Project Olympus and Fort Fox and all that, and the Eleanor Thon of it all. But yeah, this series just continues to get better and better. I really like this issue. You know, um, yeah, let's A tier it. Let's A tier it. It was pretty good. I was it was one of those ones where you read it and then it's done and you're shocked that it was done so fast. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next up, we got Batman Superman World's Finest number 43. This is written by Mark Waid with art by Sean Izaakse, and as well as Adrian Gutierrez, with colors by Matt Herms. This is concluding the Bizarro World storyline that Batman and Superman World's Finest has been doing for the past couple issues, and it was a lot of fun. I kind of wish it would have went a little longer, but I'm not going to complain for a nice, abbreviated, concise, and complete feeling story that honestly made me a little bummed. When Batman, Bizarro Batman, wants to get turned back into a Bizarro, Robin asks him, Why? You're like the smartest guy ever. You're Bruce Wayne right now." He's like, "Yeah, but when I was a Bizarro, I was actually happy." And they just kind of like both look over at a grim and stoic Bruce, and it was just kind of like, "Oh, that's that's terrible." But I really like the very super Silver Age way that they ended up figuring out their way around this situation. I won't spoil it because I thought it was pretty fun and silly. Mainly silly because we get a vision of what a bizarro Krypto would look like, and that's pretty great in and of itself. Um, this was great. It was a lot of fun. Nothing, too crazy awesome. I'm gonna be handing out my S's and A's a little harsher from now on because I give a lot of them. But this was a perfectly serviceable B tier issue. Yeah. If you're a fan of these characters, this it's a story worth checking out and picking up. I really liked it. But let's move on to one of the biggest books of the year. We have the Marvel DC crossover Deadpool Batman number one, and man, this one is the combination of work of a lot of creators. So let's just kind of go through one by one. So the first story we have is The Dead of Night. And this is the Batman and Deadpool story. This one's written by Zeb Wells with pencils by Greg Capullo, inks by Tim Townsend, colors by Alex Sinclair, and letters by Clayton Cowles. And this was a perfectly serviceable Batman and Deadpool adventure. I really like that Bruce is immediately over dealing with Wade. Like, he has no time for his shit. And Wade is not gonna give an inch of being himself. And yeah, it works out really great. Um, Deadpool can be a little much at times, but I feel like he was Deadpooling the perfect amount, calling out the Joker's big proper name font when he made his introduction was really great, and I really liked the solution to all of this. It was a really fun story. Um, I don't have individual icons for all these stories, which maybe I'll do next time. It just occurred to me now that I should have. But yeah, this is a B tier story. It was good stuff. Just 8 pages. A lot of fun. But next up, we have the Captain America Wonder Woman crossover in this issue. This is called The Gun and the Sword, and this is by writer Chip Zdarsky, with pencils and colors by Terry Dodson, inks by Rachel Dodson, and letters by Joe Caramagna. And this deals with Captain America and Wonder Woman, of course. Um, kind of it's told through the point of view of Captain America and the point of view of them existing in the same world for years and years and having inspired each other and conquered many evils and big events together. You see that Wonder Woman took Cap's side in Civil War. You see that they were there for the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Um, you see, Cap hanging out on the Justice League Watchtower with Wonder Woman and Batman and Trinity, and yeah, it was really really cool. This I think was probably my favorite of all of them. I just was totally vibing with what this was laying down. Two of the do-gooder characters that were kind of born of World War II. Just kind of on a meta level, inspiring each other throughout the years. I really liked it. Oh, shout out to Storm also being at the Crisis on Infinite Earths. And what do we get? A shot with what, Starfire and the Thing and Green Lantern all flying around fighting Galactus with Wonder Woman. Like, I mean, this is what crossovers are for stories like this. I kind of wish we got a little more of, just heavy lore crossover in this issue. But I mean, this is popcorn comics. You can't expect Hugo Award-winning literature from this stuff, and you're a fool if you do, because this is just for having fun. But man, the Captain America Wonder Woman story, that was S tier. That delivered on everything. That was perfect. I loved it, and I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Next up, we got the story Catch by writer Kelly Thompson, arts and colors by Guri Hiru, and letters by Joe Caramagna. And this is a story of Jeff and Krypto just playing a long distance game of catch that gets closer and closer until they're just having a blast playing volleyball together. And then their owners, Kate Bishop and Supergirl, respectively, call them back for dinner, and they give each other a high five and go their separate ways. I mean, this was great. It's fine. It's total B tier good stuff. Yeah, it delivered perfectly. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Yes, 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 yes. But next up, we got the red and the green. This is the Daredevil and Green Arrow crossover, written by Kevin Smith with art by Adam Kubert, colors by Frank Martin, and letters again by Joe Caramagna. And this kind of deals with Green Arrow making his way into New York City. He's dealing with the Hand, and then we see Daredevil kind of not yet side by side, but on the page side by side in Hell's Kitchen, and he's dealing with the League of Assassins. It was pretty cool watching these two characters cross paths. That Kevin Smith both did. He did some iconic runs for both of them, and yeah, seeing a boxing glove arrow was totally great. Yeah, I have no complaints about this. I mean, it was totally in the vein of Kevin Smith in a very good way, and delivered on the premise perfectly. This is A tier. Yeah, I really liked Red and the Green. It did its job well. Speaking of green, and a story that could have been a lot longer, on a whopping 2 pages, but definitely a chuckle-worthy 2 pages, was Rocket has a Green Lantern ring now. This is by writer Al Ewing, with art by D.K. Ruan, colors by Moreno Dionisio, and letters by, guess who? Joe Caramagna. This kind of deals with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Green Lantern Corps having a cultural exchange program where Hal lets Rocket borrow his ring, and Rocket's going to be part of the Green Lantern Corps for a little bit, which is just a page of silly shenanigans. And then we have Hal going to hang out with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which really ends up in nothing but him becoming Parallax at the very end of it, just for a slight chuckle. I liked this, but 2 pages was seriously disappointing. This was the crossover I was looking forward to most, but I did think it was genuinely funny. And yeah, you get Nova calling the Guardians of the Universe, being like, what's a parallax? And yeah, I mean, if you know, like, that's Hal Jordan went totally evil during the '90s era, and yeah. But yeah, this was serviceable. B tier. I wish I could say A or S. I was really hoping this would be a little more. Basically, just getting knocked because it was way too short. Then we got another short story. Our last two are short. One of them's a surprise, which is fun to get to. But we got Showdown, and this is by writer and artist Frank Miller, the legendary Frank Miller in his elderly years, still going at it. With colors by Alex Sinclair and letters by Joe Caramagna. Boy. I thought this was dog shit. I'm so sorry. This was the worst thing in this crossover by a long shot. Completely skippable, and yeah, I feel bad. I don't mean to rag on Frank Miller. It's so easy to. He's an elderly man still trying to do his trade, but it wasn't even the art. It was just the writing just sucked. It was two tough guys being tough guys to each other. There was nothing that made me. Yeah, I don't need to shit anymore on it. You get it. This is an F tier story for sure. This was garbage, and I'll never read it again. Anyway, but we're ending on a pretty high point though, because last we got the story, and this was a surprise. This wasn't in any of the trades. Enter Logo by writer Ryan North, with art by Ryan Stegman, colors by Frank Martin, and letters by who's this? Joe Caramagna. Shocking. But it looks like they're teasing some more amalgam stuff here. I don't know what's going on. There was some Ultron crossover. I'm not sure who Ultron was crossed over. They kind of lost me on that one, but we do get to see Thanos' side, the amalgam version of Thanos and Darkseid, and of course the main mutie Logo, the combination of Lobo and Wolverine, which is fun because Lobo basically started off as a knee jerk kind of parody reaction to how extreme Wolverine was in the '80s, and it's all come full circle, and it's totally badass. I really hope we get a full book of Logo. Come on, Marvel and DC, just do this stuff, split profits, everybody's happy. But anyway, let's move on to the next book. Oh yeah, we should rate this whole book as a whole thing. Um, it did have one of the worst things I've read all year. So instead of A tier, this is gonna get B tier for me because it did have one of the worst things I've read all year in it. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry, Frank Miller. The Dark Knight Returns is one of the greatest achievements in comic book history, but it's time to chill at home, man. Like, you don't got to do this anymore. Ah, that's mean. Anyway, let's move on to something a little more positive. Um, we got hold on. There's one book that didn't make it in here. We are going to re-put in this folder. Here we go. Let's go back. Past Deadpool Batman, we got, boom, The Expanse, A Little Death. This one is by writer Andy Diggle and Wes Chatham. Wes Chatham plays Amos on the Expanse TV show, and that's who you're seeing on the cover right here, if you're not familiar. With art by Francesco Pisa and colors by Valentina Pinto. And oh man, what a surprise! The Expanse, hands down, my favorite book series of all time, my favorite sci-fi book series, my favorite book series of all time, my favorite audiobooks to read. Jefferson Mays, who reads the audiobooks, does an over the top performance of just quality. And these stories are good. Um, I love The Expanse, and this made me so happy to find out that this existed. It's really cool for Wes Chatham to get together with Andy Diggle, who did some comics that I'm just learning exist. Been out of the loop, I guess. The Expanse Dragon's Tooth and Expanse Origins. These are more based off of the TV show, but the TV show and could really, this world could just kind of flow into what the books do later on if they don't resurrect the live action show. But this deals with the crew after the war with Marco and Aros's rebel fleet and the inner planets of our solar system. And yeah, they're dealing with the aftermath after that. So the Rocinante is kind of going around from system to system through the ring gates and trying to make peace. James Holden's taken his role as a diplomat, pretty seriously because that's who he is. And we end up in the Oberon system, and Amos is being really cagey while the crew talks about him and to him, and he's being really quiet about going off on his own on Oberon. And I knew where this was going because I'm super familiar with these books. But yeah, we get Amos meeting up with his old buddy Eric, and we're still not sure the whole goal of why Amos is on Oberon, but I just knew he was going to meet up with Eric. He had to. But we get to see Amos Burton being a badass, beating people up, protecting kids, and in the world of the Expanse, which I really, truly love. And yeah, I know this is a little bit of fanboy ness. It's probably elevating this up from an A tier. I mean, this was completely solid. The art was great. I mean, the person trying this from the actors did an amazing job, and I had nothing to complain about. Everything looked full in the backgrounds. Everything looked lived in. Um, yeah, I mean, this is S tier. This made me so happy. And yes, part of this is my big fandom. So maybe if you're not a fan of The Expanse, you won't be as high on this book as me. But if you like sci-fi comics, this is a great place to start. You don't have to know everything about the history of the TV show or the books or these characters, I think, to enjoy this. You get a pretty good idea of who people are right off the bat. So, yeah, The Expanse, A Little Death. Super stoked this exists. Can't wait to read the other 3 issues. All right. Next up, we got the Fantastic Four #3. This is our second Ryan North title of the week, if you count the historian Deadpool Batman. But we got Ryan North writing this with colors by Edgar Delgado, pencils by Humberto Ramos, letters by Joe Caramagna, and inks by Victor Olazaba. In this issue, we have our favorite Fantastic Family. Figuring out why the time sled showed up busted in their front yard, and they hatch a plan to um, figure out Doom's time loop and the source of it, and kind of try and stop it. Um, yeah, this was great. I really liked this. This Fantastic Four reboot is really cool, and the way that they like the page of, yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I mean, you should just read this. Man, this is good stuff. This is the kind of book that's going to keep me reading Marvel, being more of a DC guy, and just still dipping my toes, finding what I liked. I found one series, Wolverines and Deadpools, but it's a 3 issue miniseries. It's done now, so I'm stoked that Fantastic Four is keeping me in. But yeah, I this is superhero comics done right. And I'm going to have to put this one straight in the A tier as well. All right, yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Next up, we have Justice League Red. This is by writer Saladin Ahmed with art by Clayton Henry and colors by Arif Prianto. The art team is killing it on this book. I'm not sure what the writer's trying to get at. I'm like halfway into this book. This issue left me wanting a little more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be a little more picky about what I'm picking up because my stack, even though I'm letting go of series and miniseries are ending, it keeps on growing. So, Justice League Red has about one more issue to keep me hooked. I'm gonna give it one more go. But I mean, this is just a pretty average comic. I can see if you're a really big fan of Cyborg or Power Girl, how you might gravitate towards this. I'm a big Green Lantern fan, but anybody who is knows that Simon Baz is probably the guy that gets the least amount of screen time of like any human Green Lantern from 2814. And yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This one just isn't doing it for me. I feel like it's like trying to be a message about warning against AI, but everybody's just so mistrusting from the start, and he literally turned Cyborg into a robber and was like, "Yeah, I covered up the crime. Don't worry about it." And they're just like, "Okay," and I'm just like, "That's not very Justice Leaguey of you." I don't know. This one isn't hitting on all cylinders, but it's not terrible. It doesn't make me mad or anything. It's just a little meh right now. So it gets a straight face Guy Gardner in the C tier. All right, next up though, we got a book that made me feel a different emotion. Krypto, The Last Dog of Krypton, number 4. This is our third Ryan North jam this week. And pardon me, Ryan North was writing it with art by Mike Norton, colors by Ian Herring, and letters by Lucas Gattoni. And this issue, we find Krypto meeting up with a little friend, and him and that little friend um, end up finding some kids playing in the woods and following them around as they're playing, and it's really nice until they stumble upon a Brainiac drone, which wakes up and tries to hurt the kids. So Krypto and this dog jump into action, but only one of the dogs has superpowers, and it gets really sad. Here, let me read this review by at Comic Supreme on League of Comic Book Geeks. It's a 4.5-star review that begins with "Fuck you, DC. Fuck you, editorial. Fuck you, James Gunn. Fuck you, Los Pollos TV, and fuck you, Ryan North." The second I saw the warning at the beginning, I already knew what was happening. Yeah, there is a warning about how sad this issue is, and it's a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a heart of stone. I teared up for sure. Not a full drip, but whew, did I get misty? Because this one hurt, and yeah, you really freaking feel for Krypto in this one. It's a little painful, but it's good storytelling. It's Krypto the Super Dog, um, done in an indie comic way, and not only that, it's a successful indie comic way. And yeah, I mean, this is one that I would pretty much suggest to anybody who doesn't thrive on edgy comics. This is quality. This is good stuff. It made me feel, and for that, it's getting A tier. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Right next to Fantastic Four, another Ryan North joint. But anyway, let's move on to less sadder territories because man, that was a good issue. But boy, oh boy, whew, Ryan North, you're doing Ryan North and Mark Waid and Scott Snyder and Josh Williamson. I mean, these guys are just killing it this year, right? Right? Little tangent. I mean, come on, great stuff coming out of these guys. All right, that sounded weird. Moving on. Uh, we got the New Gods, number 10. This is written by Ram V with art by Evan Cagle. and Simon Parr, with colors by Francesco Segala. And this picks up with poor old Seraphin, who seemed really evil in the last issue, but you find out in this one maybe he's just a misguided and vulnerable young man, um, which kind of speaks, just rings in a very not ham-fisted way of message. But man, um, this is really picking up. We got a lot of action in this issue. We haven't had a good action in a few issues because there's been a lot of story and setup of the new Genesis people setting up their settlement on Earth, and yeah, oh wow, I'm just continually impressed by this series. This was so good. I love the characterizations of Mr. Miracle and Orion as these brothers bound by fate. I love seeing Big Barda and Wonder Woman just kick total ass. And I really think it's cool that we may have, like, through this black hole that they've been talking about, and the way that Miss Martian talks about it in this issue is that I think we found the portal into the absolute universe, folks. Weird. But I think it's right in front of our faces in this series. And yeah, we just kind of get Kamal being kidnapped by Maxwell Lord, and Mr. Miracle and Orion pursuing, and poor Seraphin getting taken advantage of. He didn't want this kid hurt, and he wanted to take his parents too. He just Seraphin, you idiot. But yeah, the New Gods, man. This might be my favorite series of the year. It's either this or Absolute Martian Manhunter. Um, so good. Bonafide S tier, without a doubt. That was one of the best issues of the series so far. I mean, in a series that's just been banger after banger. Anyway, moving on to our last comic of the tier list. We got Predator Kills the Marvel Universe #2, and this is by writer Benjamin Percy, with pencils by Marcello Ferreira, inks by Jay Leiston, and colors by Frank D'Armata. We are picking up with Craven and the Yautja in their continued attack on Earth, and their quest to take out the heroes one by one. The Fantastic Four are all out of the equation, as are the Guardians of the Galaxy, and now they set their sights on the X-Men with, the Xavier's house for the gifted, the mansion, the X-Mansion, getting attacked because they know that they need to take out Magneto first, and they do through crazy technological means. And yeah, I really like the appearance of the X-Men, just the appearance of the Predators when the X-Men are all training in the Danger Room fighting Sentinels, and Cyclops looks over and he's like, what's who's that guy? We need to like fix the program. I think the storm messed up our the system when the power reset or something. And yeah, it's just a Predator sitting there ready to chop his jaw off. Um, this issue made me I don't understand the purpose. Just here's just a side tangent. I don't understand the purpose of Marvel Red Band when you have a comic like this that's pretty bloody. Not that I have a problem with it clearly, but um, but they're not putting red band on it and putting it in a plastic bag so the kiddos can't read because yeah, they both have lots of blood and severed limbs and no swearing. So I don't understand the need for the red band label. I, yeah, I have some soul searching to do on whether or not I want to keep getting those because yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It just feels like a gimmick. Which I don't mind. I buy foil covers for most things that I like that I can. So I'm not one to be above gimmicks. But anyway, tangent. Back to the issue at hand. this is really cool. Nothing crazy, not good, nothing to write home about, but definitely something fun to suggest to anybody who's a tangential fan of either of these properties. We're firmly going B tier with that. And as for our issue of the week, I think it's yeah, it's this. It's this. It's this. This is so good. I I really enjoy Rom V's The New Gods. It's really cool discovering something that you know is one of your favorite things when that story isn't even finished being told. Like I don't see the landing not being stuck here. I would be shocked. But um yeah, as it stands, there it is. Got some pretty average books on here, but nothing terrible. Nothing terrible like last week. So that's good. Except for that old man Logan story in the Batman Deadpool or the Deadpool Batman book. Yeah, I guess that was pretty bad. So we did read something pretty bad this. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching everybody. If you could give a like and a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And until next time, keep reading.